Give it up for Georgia Hirst and Marco Ilsø. It's your stage, so wherever you want to sit. Ooh, cool. It's so good to have you guys. After a year and a half, we've been dying to have you back at our shows. So it's amazing to have you, Georgia, join us again, and Marco, you for the first time. What's it like being here? You've had a couple of hours now in the presence of these people.
Honestly, right now I'm fucking nervous, man.
Really?
Sitting here in front of people, yeah, I'm sweating my balls off right now. But it's nice. It's nice to be here.
We're going to make it as comfortable for you as possible. Georgia's already a little bit experienced, so she knows that German people are, of course, really kind people.
The best.
And we're going to have some fun. What about you? How's it being back at the conventions?
It's really good to be back. It is, though, I agree with Marco, it's more just human interaction. I'm very rusty with the hellos, how are yous, having been locked in a cage.
It's been a challenge, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's definitely good to be back, and we're going to talk a little bit about Vikings, so let's dive into it. The audience already knows if they have questions, they can just stand up and join in on us. I would really want to kick it off, like before the lockdown, of course, the world was open, but before that you were shooting Vikings, and if I remember correctly, Vikings has been like these intense long shoots. You've been away from home more than you've been at home, right? What was it like balancing that and working in Ireland for so long?
Well, towards the end, yeah, our shoot was like 11 months. So wow. We would have a couple of breaks here and there. I think it was all such a blur. I kind of forget we were away for so long, but everyone really becomes your family when you work that many hours for that many days for that many months on end. The makeup artists, the hair girls, the costume, they become your family, the crew become your family, the cast. So we really got into a routine. By the end it was more shocking to not have that structure, for me anyway, because I had done it for 6 years. But it's kind of nice to be free now. I miss it, but I couldn't cut my hair, I couldn't paint my nails.
There are a lot of rules, yeah.
You know.
And Marco, for you joined in on season 4, I think?
Yeah, I reckon it was season 4.
Yeah, so what was that like, coming into something that was already pretty established and then just becoming a part of that in Ireland?
Well, it was rough in the beginning because you need to have all these coaches telling you how you're supposed to speak, you know, the Viking accent, and you got all these trainers who's telling you gotta look bigger, now you gotta look thinner, now you got. So there's so many things I wasn't used to, and I was so nervous in the beginning. I remember my first scene, I couldn't even spit out the first words. I was just mumbling, and I looked at the director, and he was looking at me going, "This guy, we're not gonna need him anymore." I was like, "Fuck."
You were like, "Oh no."
Yeah. And I remember one of the producers came in to the tent where all the actors are sitting around. It's me, it's Alex, it's Jordan, and it's David. And he goes, "Guys, you know, if you fuck up this, none of all these people here are going to have a job next year, so just good luck."
That's
so, no pressure.
Tough following up that, yeah, exactly. For your character, let's quickly zoom in on that. He's gone through a huge change, of course, with Christianity, finding peace. Towards the end, it was a completely different person to play, I think, to act out. What was it like for you as an actor to make that transition?
Stressful at first.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Because in the beginning, me and Michael didn't know where to take the character. So in the first couple of seasons, we didn't know what to do. So I was just kind of there. And then we tried out this whole drunk thing for a while, the PTSD, yeah. And then it worked out pretty good. And then going from that to then knowing who he is, going from that druggy part to becoming a great warrior, being himself, and then going back to being a peaceful Christian. It was so stressful doing because I didn't know where to go with the character. But I think we did a good job in the end, figuring it out.
And Georgia, when you started out as the character you played, she became quite an important character pretty early on. When you were cast, Did you know that it was going to be such a huge role? How did that affect you?
No, I mean, I don't know. I assume some of you know that my dad was the writer and showrunner. So initially when I was cast, I auditioned for a really minor role, and I actually have a spoiler for you guys, which I only remembered the other day. I didn't think I'd be in it for long. It was going to be an amazing experience. I knew I wanted to act, but you know, I wasn't too sure where it would go. I went to my dad's house one day and he had some scripts on the table, and I obviously read them because obviously, and I saw that my character died. She like fell off a cliff or something. I was like, what? I was like, my own father.
What are you doing?
I was like, what? So I didn't say anything, and I told, I think I told someone on set, one of my co-stars, and then the script came, and like my death never arrived. It just went on, and I think the guys at History just liked the idea that there was another strong female character. The relationship with Lagertha was really important. There weren't many friendships in the show like that, like a real sister bond. So I think my dad tried, but people liked Torvi, it seemed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
maybe not him, but other people.
Yeah. Hey, and of course, if we look at the show, it's basically two parts. You have like very action heavy, of course, but on the other end, also very dialogue heavy. What challenges did you face balancing that? Like, I think you had to do a lot of, well, fight or stunt work yourselves.
Yeah, well, I know for me, I was not a natural at the stunts.
Okay.
I thank God for all the amazing directors and cameramen that made us all look badass, but it just, the arm, like with the leg, like it was, and the shield, like it was just, my brain I just was really confused. So these guys would go in for like 2 sessions before a huge stunt scene. I'd say to the stunt guys, like, I'm gonna need like a 5-week, like 5 times a week for 5 weeks kind of thing. So I would go and see them and be so nervous that I wouldn't get it right, and then you turn up on the day and the whole thing would have changed. It would be like, we're not doing that anymore, and I'd be like, okay, fine. So for me it was hard. I prefer the more emotional, gritty scenes, but I enjoyed doing it. But you did a lot of stunts.
Yeah, I did a lot of stunts and a lot of stunt work, and I absolutely loved it. I loved doing it, and I felt pretty home, doing it. So that wasn't the hard part for me. The hard part was probably the practice. So for the last, I think, season 6, for the last part of season 6, there was so much stunt work that my body couldn't keep up. So my ankles started to crack, and just everything just hurt. But I think the most challenging part was probably the dialogue, because English is my first language.
Well,
so
you could have fooled me. You're doing wonderful.
Thank you. So that was pretty hard, especially the monologues. So yeah. I reckon they had to cut a lot of that out, to be honest.
What I think people don't often realize, because Georgia, you said that you were there for 11 months during the initial seasons, is that you don't just show up and start filming, but there's actually a lot of time involved in training, practicing, etc., right? And you all do that on location, probably.
Yeah, well, a normal day would look like we would get up at maybe 4, maybe wow. Sometimes 3:30 or something like that. Then we'll travel to set, get the hair and makeup done. Then we would rehearse the scenes and shoot the scenes, and after that we'd go to the stunt shed where we do all the stunt work. And then we'll talk to a dialect coach about the scenes next time, and then we'd be back home at like 9 in the evening, straight to bed, unless you had to work out, do some kind of workout routine, or you had to get food as well. So we're pretty much just passed out when we got home.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. But that actually, like, having to do that all together is what you said. You really become a family, probably, with everyone, not just cast, but also crew. Yeah. Let's open up the panel to audience questions. So if you have a question, you can just stand up and we'll get a microphone your way.